Hello, listeners. So this is just a little disclaimer, I guess you could say. We're just starting to do this. We don't know a lot about podcasting, I would say. So there is a few minor issues with the audio, but I ask that you please bear with us while we're trying to gain some experience with this, and we're trying to progress and be better at this. Also, I would like to point out that Kevin does say that this is going to be called In Depth, which is a name that we previously agreed upon, but I think we're changing it to Trying Our Hardest. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the podcast.
So, all right. Welcome to the first recording of In Depth. My name is Kevin Quay.
My name is Nate Marley.
And today we will be starting by introducing ourselves.
Yes, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 17 years old. I have been doing musical related things for probably 10 years-ish, maybe. I don't know. But I have a lot of musical experience. Music is what I'm into. Music is what I do. One day, I hope I can possibly be some sort of musician or producer or something of that sort. But I don't know. I'm not that interesting of a person, honestly. There's not a whole lot to talk about in that sense.
So same sort of story here. I've been just doing music stuff my whole life, playing a bunch of instruments, taking lessons. Dream is obviously, it'd be cool to become like a famous musician, but I think my goal is really to become like a studio producer or sound engineer. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be pretty dope
in life. Yeah.
Well, I've had a few things on my mind recently.
What's on your mind? Talk to me.
I've been having a lot of issues, not just in the music industry, but more so in my more personal life and in my academic life and stuff like that. Where I don't know if it's just because I'm tired of school. I don't know what it is. I'm just not very motivated generally to do anything.
Like senioritis kind of thing?
But I've had it since freshman year. So I don't know.
I've had it since 7th grade.
Yeah, it's rough. But I have not, especially recently, I've been really slacking. And I don't know why. There's no direct reason, I don't think. It's just it's a combination of the fact that I don't necessarily have the energy to do things, and that comes with a whole list of reasons why I don't have energy, because I don't even know if you guys know this, you guys being Kevin and our camera guy, Jared Harvey, for the people that are listening, because this isn't necessarily the version you're going to watch. We have a video version you can find on YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube, we have a audio version that you can probably find on SoundCloud or something. I don't know. I'm really struggling with that.
Yeah. So that's sort of a good transition, I guess. We're going to talk about motivation today.
Yeah.
And things that do motivate us, whether they be big or small, and then things, hopefully how that can I guess sort of cross over and help motivate you, the listener at home. Well, I'll just start, I guess. Things that motivate me, not a whole lot. I've got a pretty bad case of senioritis, but what does motivate me is spite.
Spite.
That's a pretty good one. Just trying to prove others wrong.
Yeah.
And be above other people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bit conceited, but it works.
Listen, I feel like everybody's really conceited if they really look into the depths of their soul. I don't know. I feel like it's human nature to be the best at whatever you're doing, whether or not you are or you aren't. It's human nature to want to be the best. So you could tomorrow start a new hobby, but you're gonna try to be as good at it as you can, and I don't know.
Yeah, humans are just really naturally competitive. So
I feel
the reason why sports are so popular and people like watching and participating in competitions.
Which I feel like that is a very motivational subject in the sense of when I first started doing music, that was one of the main things that I felt motivation wise, because I told you, I've been doing it for 10 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So, like, obviously I didn't have a whole lot of competitors at the age of like 7 because like nobody at that age was really thinking about like what they want to do as an adult because they're a kid, they don't need to. But that was not more of like me worried about my future occupation. It was more me like excited for my future occupation. So yes, I was competitive in the sense of like I wanted to be the best I could be, but it was for a different reason. I feel like because I wasn't competing against my peers. I was competing against the industry, I guess. So like, and I still am every day, and I feel like everybody is. But
it's music is pretty like a well saturated industry.
Yeah.
So you have to be like really competitive if you want to like stay in it and stay popular and stay, relevant. Yeah,
which is like, I feel like that's bittersweet, honestly, because like, the people who are currently relevant are going to be relevant for a good amount of time, usually. I mean, unless they're like a one-hit wonder, but so like, that's good for them, but it makes it like exponentially harder for everybody who wants to be in the music scene, and they can't be because they don't have the right connections and they don't have the right networking. And I don't know. I feel like that's bittersweet, but it's always music has always been my motivation, I would say. That's why I've gone on this little tangent, just to like bring it up to that point, because yes, we're talking about motivation, but I would say that music has been my motivation through a lot of things.
You kind of you kind of have to just make it less about competing against others. I mean, if your goal is just to be famous, then that's different. But for most people, music is just like really fun. It's fun to do. It's like, I've heard a lot of that is like therapy, and that's how it's been for me too. It's just that making music is a good release for emotions, and it's not about just becoming popular and all that. But it can be. And if it is, then that's different.
It most definitely can be, and I feel like a lot of people take what they have for granted, because there are so many people that can produce music nowadays, and like whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. But they have the ability to get the software. They have the ability to utilize the software. They have they may not have the connections in the industry, but they have the ability to make those connections with ease due to like internet access and stuff. And the internet, obviously, as everyone knows, I feel like it's common knowledge, has become such a huge thing, like to where like I could get on my phone right now, hypothetically, and I could just search up like music producers, and like they're only an email away. Like it's not. I guess it gets increasingly difficult with the fame level of that person, because like me, there's people that are aspiring to be something probably are going to do the same thing and email that producer. So they have like hundreds of different things to like go through in their email. But if it's like a small time producer from Indianapolis that's like just starting out, but he's good, then I could easily email him and work with him, and there might be like a small fee or whatever, but at the same time I still have that ability to form music. And because it's so easily done, there's like an overabundance of people who are aiming to become something, or at least become famous of some sort, and that just makes it like 50 times harder as a musician to do anything what the industry would call worthwhile, because everything that I'm trying to do, everything I want to do, somebody has already done. There's no such thing. Let me retract that. There is, but in the grand scheme of things, there's not really any new content that can be made. Everybody's already made it. Everybody's already done it. Yeah, there's like new melodies that you can do, but there's not really like an infinite number of things to talk about. You can't sit there and talk about freaking pineapple on pizza for a 5-minute song. It's just not going to work out. So, I don't know. Music, I would say, is my main motivator, and in the sense of like wanting to become more than I am now. And although it doesn't necessarily help me in the school aspect of things, I think it definitely gives me something.
I think it can cross over.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like doing well in music and like that's bringing you up, then that can cross over into like making you more motivated to do schoolwork and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel good about yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah, if you feel good, you'll do good. Like, I mean, just generally in life. And I feel like it definitely helps me feel better about myself, and like, not in like a narcissistic way, but in the sense of like, I'm making music that people enjoy, and I'm making people feel something, like whether it be like, man, that song is like great, or like, wow, that song really relates to me, or like just any sort of emotion. And the fact that I have the ability to change somebody's mood so effortlessly is a privilege, I'd say.
I think reaching an audience in general is a pretty good motivator.
Yeah.
Because once you start to like pick up a little speed and people are like, okay, this guy's doing pretty cool stuff, you almost feel like an obligation almost to like put out more music and like.
And it's not a stressful obligation. It's just something you want to do.
Something you want to do, something you feel like you can give people. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's super interesting to me, because like I was saying, it not only helps me feel better about myself and what I'm doing, it also, this might sound dark, but I promise it's not. It also like gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. Yeah. And it gives me another reason to wake up, I should say. It's not like my only reason. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It makes, and this goes across all platforms. This is not just music. This is just something I relate to more. So that's why I'm talking about it as music. But it could be sports. It could be like, you could be doing, if you're a chef and you really like to cook food, it could be any sort of like job or any sort of hobby. I feel like this is like really, this relates to all subjects pretty much. But
if you find something you like doing, you know, you never really want to stop doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it can be hard to find that thing, you know, and what you want to do for the rest of your life. Because that's what I struggle with. I struggled with, you know, people always asking me what I wanted to do. And the answer to me was always music. But I never really wanted to tell people because, you know, it's like a hard thing to do for a living. Yeah. But now that I've really like, you know, chosen that as what I want to do, it's like, that's like why I keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as a friend, I kind of want to know more about your musical background, in the sense of like, if you don't know, that's cool, but if you know exactly, like, and how long have you been doing music and stuff like that?
Since around 3rd or 4th grade. Yeah. I started taking, I started seeing my sister like take piano lessons in 3rd grade. When I was in 3rd grade. Yeah. And at that time, I was kind of picking up the guitar on the side. We had like a little guitar self-teaching book, and I would like play through that. Yeah. Put a little, I don't know, just a little Mozart ditties they have in there translated to guitar. And then I started taking piano lessons through 4th and 5th grade. Yeah. And then in 5th grade, my school had a percussion group. And a choir, so I was in those. And then in middle school, I took viola in the orchestra for all 3 years.
So you're pretty well-rounded.
Yeah, and then I was also playing some bass and still guitar. And then I started taking bass lessons in 8th grade. Yeah. And then I also bought a drum set in 8th grade. And then freshman and sophomore year, I was in the jazz band on bass. And then right now I'm taking drum lessons, and then doing this, obviously, which is for those of you who don't know, we are both in the music sound production class at our local career center. Yeah, Everett Career Center. Shout out to you. We're also filming and recording this here. Yeah, too. And the radio station.
Not everybody has this opportunity, and I feel like that is super like.
It's just nice.
Yeah. I don't. There's not really a word to describe that, because, from like, obviously you have your enjoyment of music, I have my enjoyment of music, but we actually have the ability to create and to do stuff like what we're doing right now.
We have a lot of like equipment and technology available to us. We can do pretty much whatever we want music wise.
Exactly. And if you go to like the high school here or the high schools around there, even if you don't have a lot of money for your own equipment and stuff, you do have access to that stuff here, which is super, super good.
I was gonna say that it's pretty motivating to have all this like available to us, because when you know, even though I get up at like like 6.
Yeah.
And I know one of the other classmates wakes up at like 4 because he has like a 2-hour bus ride here. You know, even you know, having to wake up then and having to sacrifice something to do it, it's still really just motivational, because you know that you have everything available to you, so you want to get up and like use it and make stuff with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to take it back a little bit. We were talking earlier about just about our motivators in general. Obviously, we went on this music like tangent and stuff like that, but I wanted to get your opinion on this. So, as far as something that's like, this is about to turn into a therapy session, I feel like, because like this is something that's been going on a lot in my life. This is also in relation to what I was saying with the whole like no motivation in school and stuff like that. So like I have a lot of like problems with falling asleep in class, which I feel like it's a very like small problem, but like it ends up adding up over time, because I literally do it every day in every class other than this one. And like I don't have the
capability.
I don't have necessarily the capability to overcome that. I don't think. Like I don't know. It does stem from narcolepsy or whatever, but it's also like I just don't want to be there. And like sleep is the only thing that passes the time more. So I feel like at this point, I'm in my senior year. My GPA is okay. It could be better. So like, why do I have to be here? You know, like I'm at that point where like there's no reason for me to be in school doing what I'm doing. But like I obviously know I have to. And I want your opinion on like, what do you think would be possibly the best way to pretty much get over myself? Do you, like, if you don't know the answer, that's cool. Because I know that's like a common struggle.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of something I've struggled with for the past 3 years. And now I'm still going through it, and my grades are kind of bad. So now my motivation is just to like, I have to like get my grades up to be able to apply and stuff and get into college. And that's kind of what's motivating me. But I know I definitely feel that struggle a lot. What's motivated me? I don't know. It is hard for me sometimes to find motivation, but usually I'll just get like random bursts where I'm like, okay, I really want to do this right now, and then I'll get it done. But if I like, there's like a window for me. If I like miss the time where I like want to do something, I won't do it for like a week. But I don't know. I can't really pinpoint an exact reason that, you know, motivates me.
I feel like that definitely does come and go. Like I get that too. Like there'll be like a day or like a week where I'm just like, I got to get on it. Let's do it. Let's go. But then that week or day passes and I'm just back to my same old ways. And that's like really, really like, it's been like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this, but essentially like I feel very emotionally, physically, socially drained. I don't know if you get this too. This probably like stems from like, without sounding like I'm looking for attention, I have a lot of anxiety problems. So I don't know if this gets you too, but I have this issue where like if I'm around people for too long, I'm like really drained and I don't want to be around people for like months.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm pretty introverted. And I don't like spending a lot of time out if I can help it. I mean, it's good sometimes, you know, just it's healthy to have some socializing, whatnot. But sometimes I'd rather just stay in bed and do nothing and work on my laptop a little bit.
Like honestly, if I'm being 100% transparent, the only time other than like going to work, which is obviously an obligation. The only time I've gone out of my house in the past like 3 weeks was just to hang out with like one of my friends.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just been like I'm staying in.
Yeah,
But I work a decent amount, so like if you put that in perspective, I'm actually not at my house a whole lot. But on the days where I do have free time, that's the only place I spend my time is in my room.
Yeah. You know, you got to invite me out. You want me leaving my room.
Yeah.
Because,
And even still, I'll probably say no. Like,
yeah. There's a time where I just straight up told a kid that, like, hey, I don't want to go out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't really feel like it.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like if anybody ever gets upset just because, like, you don't want to go out, that's a little, like, inconsiderate, I feel like.
I don't know. People are inconsiderate. That's it. That's the end of the podcast. No. I think as an introvert in a generally extroverted world, the important thing is not to like try to be an extrovert. I think it's just important to like have good social skills and be personable when you need to.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing.
I feel like that
You don't have to make yourself, anxious and like be someone you're not. You just have to get along well enough with people so that you're comfortable when you need to be.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense. I don't know. I feel like I want to do my best to fit in.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everybody does. That's just human nature to, like, want to be accepted, I guess. So, even though I am introverted, I do take the unnecessary steps of seeming extroverted. So, like Jared was saying earlier, yesterday, there was a bunch of people that came in, and I was like, wow, you guys are beautiful people, just joking around. But, like, normally an introvert wouldn't say crap like that.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where, like, people, for some reason, really like when people say stupid things. If I make a stupid joke, obviously people are gonna think that's like they're gonna be like, "Wow, that's stupid," but they're gonna like think it's funny.
They're entertained.
Yeah, they're entertained by it. They're entertained by stupidity almost. Which and I'm not talking about stupid like you don't know how to do basic math. I'm talking stupid like it's just like a dad joke. That's a stupid joke. Like puns and stuff like that.
It's just the general entertainment value that's found in things that like are outside of the norm.
Yeah.
What you usually see.
I think it's definitely best to be yourself, but I don't think being I don't think making yourself come across as normal is a bad thing, because like humans are terrible. We're a terrible species. We judge for no reason. Like, who cares if somebody's like under 6 foot? Like, that doesn't just because they're not,
it doesn't actually have an effect on anything.
It literally does not matter. But like, we tend to judge for whatever reason, and I feel like
I think the worst part is less about others judging you and more about thinking that you're being judged. Because if you don't think you're being judged, then, nothing that people think really has an effect on you.
that was like you just spilled the beans so much right there. That just like was really deep. Anyway, I definitely agree with that. I think it's a mindset for sure. And if you're not in a good frame of mind, then you're going to do whatever it takes. At least in my experience, you're going to do whatever it takes to try to put yourself back into a good frame of mind.
Yeah.
So whether that be like acting a little different so like people accept you more, or if that's like doing things a little differently than you usually would to impress somebody, or just like whatever. As long as I feel like acceptance plays a big role in happiness generally. And if you're happy,
then you're motivated.
Then you're motivated. And
to do stuff you need to do.
Exactly. So this all does relate back. I know this seems kind of random, but it relates. So like, it's just like if you're not happy with what you're doing or who you're with, or
then it's hard to find a reason to keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. And I feel like in order to find what makes you happy, you have to first figure out like what you truly value. So like, do you want like a healthy relationship with like a girl or a boy? Do you want a good friendship? Do you want to rekindle a relationship with an old friend? Do you want to like, what do you value? What is something that you as a person find important? And once you know what you find important, you can make that a priority in your life. And once you make it a priority, things will start looking up for you. You'll naturally be happier, and it'll just keep going up. Like it'll just go until you're at the peak happiness that you've ever been before. Things are going so great, and yeah, you might have like a few issues here and there where it's like, oh no, my car broke. That's kind of sucky.
Yeah.
But then like that's always like we were saying earlier about the whole like that's not important in the grand scheme of things. Like when we were talking about judging people and stuff like that. Like yeah, that sucks right now, but in a week when you fix your car, it's not gonna matter. Like it's not really that important. So if you focus more on the things that are important, then I feel like overall you'll just have a happier mindset.
I think a lot of people can get lost trying to find the thing that will motivate them and make them happy.
True.
And that's where a lot of people get messed up. Just like they keep searching, but they never reach their destination, I guess, metaphorically. I don't know. That's kind of a bummer to think about after you were talking about, searching for happiness. But it's true, it's easy to get caught up in that. But once you do find it, that's a good motivator, I guess.
Exactly. So I don't know exactly if all of our points came across. And maybe we didn't explain everything super well, but I feel like this has been one of the best conversations I've had in a while, if I'm honest with you, because like there's a lot of stuff I don't talk about. Like I'll just keep all of my thoughts to myself essentially. And
as an introvert, that's hard because you don't always want to talk to people about stuff. But that's in terms of if anything has helped me mentally, it's just talking to people. That's what you need to do. Exactly.
Talking to people, trying to gain more healthy relationships, whether it be romantic or platonic. It's just like it might contradict what I was saying earlier about how like I don't like being around people, but that is something I need to kind of get over, which I feel like anybody who is an introvert knows that deep down, like, I just got to get over it, whatever. But at the core of things, healthy relationships is like one of the best things you can have.
Yeah.
Because you'll always have a support system. You'll always have somebody who cares about you. You'll always have somebody who loves you. Now, over time, it may not be the same people, but you'll find new friends to replace the bad friends. You'll find new relationships to replace the bad relationships.
You just got to keep moving forward.
Exactly.
That's the important thing.
One step at a time. So like I was saying, I don't know if all of our points got across well, but I do think that this has been quite useful for me.
Yeah.
And I never get to talk about these things with anybody simply because, like, it feels weird to talk about things like this with people. But I think for the enjoyment of our listeners and for the, I guess, eye-opening experience this has been, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
And
so thank you for listening to Therapy with Nate and Kevin. No, but I think that about wraps it up, really.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for probably closer to 45 minutes now. It won't probably be this long in post, but if you guys did enjoy that, make sure you please leave a like on this. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you want us to talk about next. What you want us to go in depth about, because that is the name of the game.
Name of the show, In Depth. Thank you.
So you guys have been listening to In Depth with Kevin and Nate. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be yourself. Make friends. We love you. Goodbye.